Oh, welcome back. It's been a little while since we looked at some Magecraft, so yeah, here we go, back with some more. So yeah, today we're going to be looking at Geis, guys, however you say that. He'll say it in the video how you pronounce it, but yeah, let's just see what Otaku has for us this time. So yeah, class is in session. So yeah, let's just see what he got in this lesson. So yeah, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. Yeah, we're so close to 1K. So yeah, just make sure to subscribe. Yeah, it really help out. And yeah, let's get this reaction started.
I just took what they gave me, did all the favors, they never repay me. It worked in my favor, cause nobody
Brand new whip, got no keys. Tell them my clothes, no starch, please. Soon as you can go leave. Got M's in the bank like S and D. Cartier glasses, I won't even peek at you. Yellow Ferrari like Pikachu. I got him waiting and watching what he gon' do. Tryna pee what I do, tryna steal my moves. 2500 for a new pair of tennis shoes.
In our previous lesson,
Alright,
I
here we
spoke
go.
of curses and their many applications.
Yeah, we learned about
Of all
curses.
types of Magecraft, curses may be the most contextual and diverse.
So yeah, literally what we know,
benefit or
like,
detriment to both their users
yeah,
and
curse is a
targets.
curse, so yeah.
In that regard, curses are akin to magical contracts. And as it turns out, one such form of curse is essentially just that. Of course, I speak of the Gesh, a curse
The
that
Gesh.
conditionally
Yeah, I
binds
was
people
way
according to
off.
rules laid out beforehand. Essentially, a Gesh is either an agreement made between two parties that restricts one's actions, or a forced condition
Where does
placed
the H
upon
come
one
from?
party by another.
Okay.
Think of them like self-imposed limiters or bindings.
Yeah, words
or if
be
you prefer,
pronounced weird
weaker forms
sometimes.
of command spells for servants. They tend to be more imposing.
Got
and
this
drastic
certain
than a
letter
typical
right here in
curse,
the front of the
reasonable
word, and
preparation.
you don't even have to
As
pronounce
with other
it.
curses,
Just
the reasons
silent.
mages would bother using them vary, and it is best to look at such cases through individual examples. Most frequently, Gesha are featured in Celtic mythology as an oath between warriors that, if broken, would curse the violator. Specifically, Gesha frequently occur within legends of the Ulster cycle. During this time,
Yeah, Fate
the
is a
Ulster
whole
king
lot of
Crowhor,
just
in a fit of lust,
mythology,
planned to marry the fair maiden
legends.
Deirdre when she was merely
But
a
I mean,
child,
hey, I get
despite
to
a
at
prophecy
least learn a
declaring
little
that
bit
doing
about
so
it.
would bring peril to his kingdom.
Yeah, I don't look
Deirdre,
at the
not
like
wanting to wed a
Greek
man old
mythology,
enough
I
to be his
guess,
father,
specifically
instead fell in love with Noisha of the Red
in
Branch
general,
Knights.
or any
Defying
type
the
of
king,
other
Deirdre placed a
legends.
gash upon Noisha, compelling him to elope with her. Crowhor's uncle Fergus, while escorting the happy couple back to Ulster as a sign of peace, was compelled by one of his own Gesha, a vow to never refuse
Boy, you
a
got that
feast.
8-pack. Hold
This
up.
was, in fact, a ploy by Crowhor to lower Noisha's guard and steal back Deirdre. By taking advantage of Fergus's Gesh and betraying his people's trust, Crowhor lost the loyalty of many brave warriors who joined Ulster's enemy, Connacht. When Connacht invaded Ulster during the cattle raid of Cooley, Fergus finally had his chance to slay Crowhor, but lost the opportunity when his former pupil, Cuchulainn, opposed him. Understanding Fergus's rage, Cuchulainn formed a Gesh with his mentor that would force him to either stand down or immediately lose to Fergus's weapon Khaled Bolg should they ever have a rematch.
Khaled Bolg.
Effectively, it was a warrior's promise not to interfere again. Even so, Cuchulainn had his hands full fighting against Connacht and its queen Maeve. While not technically a Gesh, the warriors of Ulster suffered from a different, yet equally devastating curse. Crowhor's degeneracy brought about the curse when he forced a pregnant woman, Maka, to prove her speed in a race against his fastest horses. With her life on the line, Maka won by the length of her belly, but the strain caused her to give birth to 2 stillborn children. Resentful of all the Ulster warriors who refused to help her, she cursed them to suffer intense labor pains whenever they were most needed on the battlefield. Because of this, Cuchulainn, technically not born within Ulster's domain, was one of the only warriors able to stand up to Maeve's army. One could say that Gesha played a significant role in this war. One of these Gesha forced both armies to fight only one-on-one duels each day. Cuchulainn, capable of felling 5,000 troops per day, agreed to only have one battle at a time, and in exchange, Maeve could only advance her army during these duels. Tragically, Maeve was able to take advantage of Gesha to pin Cuchulainn into a corner. There are times when, in order to follow one Gesh, another must be broken. Such is the case when Cuchulainn has to either violate his Gesh of never eating dog meat, a pledge he made in recompense for killing a lord's
never eating dog
and his
meat.
Gesh of never refusing food offered to him by a woman. In this case, a woman serving him dog meat is all it took to break one of his 2 Gesha. And
That's
as penance,
it?
He was
Wow.
deprived of his strength. Cunningly, or perhaps
Hey,
shamelessly,
man.
Maeve continued to turn
Can't
Cuchulain's
let
Gesha
that
against
happen.
each other until he could no longer fight, meeting his defeat on the battlefield. In Celtic lore, Gesha tend to have ironic consequences. Before the cattle raid, for instance, Cuchulainn placed 3 Gesha on his unborn son, Conla. This child was thus barred from turning back on a journey, resisting a fight, or giving his own name. Years later, Conla encountered his own father, and because of the Gesha placed upon him, he could neither reveal his identity nor back out of a fatal duel. This forced him to fight his own father to the death, unable to clear up the misunderstanding. Due to the very same Gesha he imposed, Cuchulainn accidentally killed his own son. Celtic Gesha have also been found during the Fenian cycle, with the hero Diarmid I mentioned in our previous lesson. While the love spot on his face was a more traditional curse, his elopement with his Lord Finn McCool's fiancée Grania was compelled by a Geis. Grania, falling for Diarmid after being cursed by the love spot, tried to attain this love by imposing upon him a Geis to run away with her. Thus, Diarmid had little choice but to betray Finn, else he suffered the consequence of breaking Grania's Geis. It was a complicated decision. While Diarmid valued loyalty above all else, he also admired Grania's conviction in throwing away her future and status to be with him. His forgiveness extended to Finn, even during his death. So far, I've been making it seem as though Gesha could be created by pretty much anyone, but beyond the realm of Celtic heroes and legends, their use spreads mainly to practiced mages. A rather grim application of them comes from the mage Rin Tosaka. During the 5th Holy Grail War, she struggled with how to respectfully handle her sister Sakura, who was suffering due to the curse of Angra Mainyu discussed last time. When Rin's fellow master, Shiro Emiya, came to propose an alliance, she attempted to place upon him a Geis to seal his loyalty. Should Shiro consent, Rin would have bound Shiro to comply with her every decision during the war. She could not force him into any specific behavior, but she could restrain him if he tried to defy her.
Oh yeah, I know I'm
Sakura's
being
survival
kind of
hinged
quiet
upon
right
this
now too.
decision,
Yeah, I'm
as
just
Rin initially decided
trying
kill her.
to understand all
Shiro,
this, because yeah, it's
bound by
something
such a Geis,
completely
would
new
not
that I've
be able
never
to
heard of
interfere and save his
before.
beloved. The use of Gesha
So just
also
want to make
appeared
sure I
within the beasts of
understand it
humanity, specifically Tiamat
before I say
during the
too
Age of
much.
Gods. Her frightening chaos tide.
But yeah, I do like
Sea of
this.
Life
Yeah, some of
expands as a
these
black mud
mage
capable
crafts,
of birthing
I get to
children
do
and
learn about
corrupting
some of the
life that touches
servants,
it.
you know, like
The children
some
born
type
of the
of
chaos
conditions they
tide
had
are
to
imposed
deal
with a
with,
Geis
like
on
the
a
Gesh or
cellular
whatever,
level, a contract
or
with
certain
nitrogen
curses that they
compels them to
had,
oppose humanity. Even
you know, if
servants
they weren't
corrupted by the chaos
explained in the
tide can find their
anime.
saint crafts altered to abide by this amino Gesh. Because the tide
And
can
surely
bring
enough,
about
I was able to
life,
find
this
out, well,
Gesh most certainly
a
rivals
little bit
Angra
about
Mainyu's
the
curse.
2
Gesha have
Lancers.
even been implemented to literally serve as contracts between mages in the form of documents called self-Gesh scrolls. While Celtic warriors would suffer and lose their strength by breaking a Gesh, mages using scrolls would instead bind their own magic crests as a Gesh's collateral. That's right, these agreements between mages are bound by their most precious commodity, guaranteeing loyalty, even in death, as a magic crest is soul-bound. Self-Gesh scrolls are used in forming unbreakable alliances, and to suppress even the most treacherous magi. It goes without saying that mages do not take these contracts lightly. In the Great Holy Grail War in Trifus, the mage Kairi
Whoa, hold
Shishigo
up.
offers signing a self-Gesh scroll in order to validate a temporary partnership with the Black Faction while fighting against Shiro Kotomine. In his case,
Okay.
the offering alone demonstrates loyalty, such that Fiore Forve Giga de Millennia agrees to the alliance without such extreme measures.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I
Same
mean,
cannot
I'm
be
at
said
least
for
add that
everyone,
part. I'm like,
however.
hold on,
In
they
a
about to
completely
spoil
different
me right
time,
now.
A mage representing the Reirokon family.
No, I'm at that
contracted
part,
to the
yeah, where
caster
they
servant
gotta
Paracelsus von Hohenheim,
basically
signs a
have that
self-Gesh scroll
alliance
validate
to
an
go
alliance
against
with his
Shiro.
enemy rider servant, the Pharaoh Ozymandias. It must be mentioned that this was not at all consensual, however. The master had very little choice in the matter, as Ozymandias could and would easily murder both him and his daughter Messiah if he refused to sign. Sadly, this is not the only instance of scrolls being signed under coercion. In fact, the most nefarious and disrespectful application of a self-Gesh scroll was forced under similar circumstances. Kiritsugu Emiya, rightfully named the Mage Killer,
Yeah?
proved his title by using the conventions of Magi against them. To seal his victory in the 4th Holy Grail War against his enemy Cainith El Malloy Archibald, he essentially made a mockery of the self-Gesh scroll. He had his assistant Maya severely wound and kidnap Cainith's lover,
Oh,
Solo.
that,
He then held
okay.
Solo at gunpoint while giving Cainith the proposed scroll.
That is all he had
In
to do,
exchange for
okay.
Cainith using all of his remaining
For me to,
command
like,
seals,
really
and ordering his
understand
servant
what
Diarmid
these
to
are.
kill himself, Kiritsugu vowed to forbid himself of any intention of harming Kainith
or at least
Solau
another
for all
way
eternity.
that you could.
Kiritsugu had already signed it, and all Kainith had to do was fulfill its conditions.
Yeah, the condition.
Under immense pressure, Kainith was forced to decide between
Yeah, another
everything
way
the
to
mage
like
stands
have
for,
that
his
Geis,
pursuit of Akasha, and
or
the
come into
woman he
contract
loved.
with one.
Trusting in the contract, he wasted all his command seals and betrayed Diarmud's loyalty by robbing his servant of an honorable fight. For Solau, Kainith threw away
Yeah, I'm not
the
even gonna
war,
lie, I kind of
his
feel
pride,
bad for
and his purpose.
Diarmid there.
Yet, this spared neither him nor his beloved. Certainly, Kiritsugu kept his end of the bargain, not intending to kill them himself, but nowhere in the contract were Kainith and Solau's safety guaranteed.
Yeah, he was so loyal
Instead,
to his
taking
master,
advantage of a
even
false sense
being
of
treated like a
security, Maya
slave,
shot
kind
them
of
dead on the
like.
spot without warning or mercy. On one
Yeah,
end,
man.
it's fair to brand Kainith a naive
And then
fool,
for him to die
not
in such a
negotiating
way.
better terms during a war clearly stripped of its honor. However, it is also fair to say that Kiritsugu, despite coveting the Grail for world peace, had committed yet another grave sin. The anger he brought to his servant Artoria Pendragon was well
I heard
earned,
that too.
but Kiritsugu knew full well he was walking a path of bloodshed toward his ultimate goal. One could say Kiritsugu slandered the very practice he was raised into, but at the same time, one could also say that Kiritsugu's very behavior was perfectly in line for a mage. After all, the Mages Association is filled with betrayal, neatly tucked beneath a facade of academic prestige. Ironically, all mages are human, and it's simply a matter of how far they go to deny that. In summation, Gesha are cursed oaths, orders, and contracts established between mages and victims. They culturally hail from Celtic mythology, serving as a key component behind both
So
the humors and
Celtic
honor of
mythology,
brave warriors.
yeah.
but their
I don't know
use
how to
is
spell
clearly
that,
expanded
so
to Magecraft at
I had to look it
large.
up later.
Gesha are often the most serious promises mages can make.
But yeah, I was
Their
thinking about,
entire
looking
legacy on the
into,
line.
well,
But
yeah,
even then, the
mythology,
honor
Greek
and sincerity
mythology,
behind these oaths is completely dependent
yeah,
upon
in
the
general.
mage. For our next lesson, we shall delve into something more immediately recognizable. I cannot say how many lessons this will take, but this course would not be complete without covering the phenomena known as mystic eyes.
Mystic eyes. Okay. I think I know what he's talking about, but yeah, I have to either see like the thumbnail or just basically see a little bit like, in the video what he's talking about. But yeah, I guess all you had to do was just talking about the Kiritsugu thing. Yeah, I already knew what he was talking about, or at least I at least understood a lot more of what he meant. So yeah, like I said, I didn't know, but now, I already seen like an example already. So basically that contract that he wanted Archibald to sign, I think it was in order to keep him and his wife safe. Nah, I forgot what the condition was, but it was some type of condition. Or actually, you know what? No, it was the command seals. Yeah, give up the command seals or whatever, I think. And his... Yeah, basically, Archibald would have to withdraw from the war, and him and his wife would be safe, even though Diarmid would probably, disappear, because, there's no more command seals and no one supplying him with that mana anymore. But, that was a condition, withdraw from the war. But obviously, that's not gonna happen, right? Yeah, like, he has a whole hostage. Nah. And then plus, Archibald wasn't even in the best condition either, because his magic circuits were messed up from that bullet that he was shot with by Kiritsugu. But yeah, it just basically helped me understand. So yeah, you can come into contract with one, and you would just have to have that certain condition, and if they don't meet that condition, then there's going to be consequences that'll occur if they go against their word. So I don't know. Well, I wonder actually what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen when Kiritsugu had that contract with Archibald, but actually I kind of did want to see what happened, just to see, like, if you didn't go with your word, like, you'll do this or that from the contract, then... No, actually, you know what? No, it was going to happen to Kiritsugu, actually. It was going to be his punishment. But, Archibald should have read it, or at least thought about it more than that, because it did say Kiritsugu couldn't harm them, but it never said Saber or Ia or anybody else couldn't harm them. You know, like he can find somebody, or no, it was Maya that killed them. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of other ways I can get rid of you right now. Even like, yeah, just because I can kill you or harm you does not mean that someone else can. But yeah, that's pretty much about it for this. So not only did he have a curse, but he had a Gesh as well that he was bound on. But yeah, other than that though, yeah, that's pretty much about it for this. So yeah, Mystic Eyes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go see what that is real quick. I think I've seen it before, but yeah, I just had to go back and just watch it later on. But yeah, other than that though, I hope you guys did enjoy. And like I said, yeah, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and yes, I'll see you guys in the next one.